What's going on, everyone? So the Orlando Magic appear to be making Terrence Ross available once again. They've been trying to trade Terrence Ross for several seasons now. Originally, they've always kind of been looking for a first-round pick. I personally don't think Terrence Ross is going to return a first-round pick for the Orlando Magic because it hasn't in the past, and I don't see it really happening now. He is on a reasonable salary, making just under $12 million a year. It's like 11 and some change. Something along those lines. But regardless, he is a very productive player. He's a veteran in this league. Got good size, 6'6", 6'7", and good wingspan, 3-and-D style wing. A little more of the 3 than the D, but still is a guy that could be a key contributor. He's also shooting just under 40% from 3 this season. So he's actually playing really good. He's shooting about 42% overall. But, on a team like Orlando and a team like the Lakers, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis drawing the attention, him getting better looks, I could see his production just really kind of going up a bit and could be very useful. We need scoring, we need shooting, and Terrence Ross is a player that has been on the Lakers' radar for some time. He's only averaging about 9 points per game on 25 minutes played, but he's also not taking a lot of shots. He's only taking about 7 to 8 shots per game. And if he was on the Lakers, still, even like a 9 point a game guy, I don't imagine he would cost a lot. Probably maybe a second round pick. He has a career average of about 11 to 12 points per game. So I think that he's a guy that could really be beneficial for the Lakers, and definitely somebody that the Lakers should at least look at and see if, like, hey, maybe we can acquire him for like a second round pick. He's not making that much. He's actually making 13,500,000. So he's also an unrestricted free agent going into the 2023 season. So kind of keeps in line with the salary space. He's a guy, if it works out, you can keep him long term. If it doesn't, then you just let him go. All is right. You're good, especially if you only have to give up like a second round pick. So maybe you could do like a Patrick Beverly and a second for a Terrence Ross. That might be something that could work. Orlando just wants to get some assets for him, right? They're a tanking team. They're, on the race for Victor Wembanyama, just like many other teams are this season. Or even if they don't get Victor, maybe a Scoot Henderson or one of the other prized players in this upcoming draft. I'm sure that the Lakers would love Ross's services, and I'm sure Orlando would be more than happy to give them Ross's services for an asset. Also, the Lakers, on top of trying to acquire Ross, maybe they could look at like a Gary Harris. Gary Harris could be a nice sort of player. Lakers definitely need 3-point shooting. They definitely need, bigger wings and shooting guards. We don't really have a ton of those. We have a ton of point guards. If you could take like a Patrick Beverly and Kendrick Nunn and maybe like, just an add-in, like a Damian Jones just for an add-in, maybe you could go get a Gary Harris. He's 6'4", roughly. He's still young at 28 years old. Terrence Ross himself is only 31 years old, so they're not like, dinosaurs or anything like that. Gary Harris, again, a shooting guard, small forward. He's a guy that can, really light it up if you need to. Again, another, he's 45% from the field career-wise, puts up about 12 points per game. This season, though, he's averaging around 50% in field goal shooting. So he's actually having a good shooting season in general for the Orlando Magic. He's only played in 3 games this season, and he's played about 25 minutes per game. Again, it's a guy that you could look at, maybe get a little add-on, something like that. He's a guy that would make sense for Orlando to move off of. They could keep playing some of the younger guys. He's also shooting 50% from 3. Again, very small sample size, but still, if he could, even get around 37, 38%, that would be huge. Get a Gary Harris, get a, Terrence Ross would be a really nice contributor as well. I know many people want Mo Bamba. Maybe you could work out something like that. So Gary Harris, Terrence Ross, and Mo Bamba make up about like 33 million, 34 million, somewhere around there in that ballpark. Gary Harris makes just under 12 million. You got Terrence Ross making 13.5, and then Mo Bamba's making like 10.5. So, maybe they could work something out. The problem is that, if you wanted to match salaries, you'd have to add some other assets. And the Lakers wouldn't be able to get there with just Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and even like a Damian Jones or something like that. But maybe you could get another one of their guys. I don't really know who they'd be willing to give up. And outside of these three, all of the other guys are on like smaller contracts, all like they're younger players. I would love, and I just personally I don't think it's going to happen. That's why I didn't even add an image of him in a Laker jersey, just because I don't think it happened. But if at any point you could get Jonathan Isaac, I would go and get him. It's kind of a risky move with his injury history, but before injuries, that dude was looking like the next, star power forward. And if he can kind of get healthy and get right, he could be a real contributor. And the thing is with the Magic, they have so many like centers and power forwards. Like they're a team like 90% of that. I mean, and Bul's really stepped up and kind of blossomed for them and turned into like a real player. So Mo Bamba, I think, is a guy that could really be expendable. Jonathan Isaac, Wendell Carter, and then you got Paolo Banchero. All those guys, they're power forwards, and that's not even counting like Wagner and guys like that. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they may be able to get like a couple guys and to maybe get there, maybe get 3 or 4 guys. And I know many Laker fans, just based on videos I made in the past about Mo Bamba, when there was kind of talks and murmurs of the Lakers maybe being interested in him. This would be kind of like a, assets for now and the future type move. I don't think it would be worth 2 first-round picks. I guess you can make the argument even 1 first-round pick, but you are getting 2 veterans that can shoot the ball, and you're getting a young center up and coming if you could work something like that out. I just think that the Lakers might be better suited for like more win now guys, but I really think Gary Harris and Terrence Ross would help a lot in just being able to score and create, be some scoring punches off the bench. I wouldn't mind at all. Again, like if the Lakers went and took Gary Harris and Terrence Ross and packaged Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and maybe Damian Jones to get to that salary, I wouldn't be against that at all. Even if you had to give up a first round pick, it might be worth it just because you're going to get so much scoring. You get veteran production, you get 3-point shooting, you get a little bit of everything, right? They're not the greatest defenders in the world, but they're serviceable enough, and they got enough size that in the right system. And Darvin Ham's got guys playing pretty good defense. There's been some games like the Spurs game, it wasn't very good defense, but for the most part, they've been pretty solid defensively. And if they can kind of get Terrence Ross and Gary Harris, who are veterans, to kind of buy in, and which both have had great defensive seasons before, and they're still very young. I just think that they're 2 guys that can get hot. 2 guys that are going to get a ton of open looks playing with LeBron James and stuff. If you can keep Russ in this area, right, these 2 guys would be great playing alongside Russell Westbrook with like an Austin Reeves. And now you got like 3 shooters around Russ, and then put, another big or something. Maybe put Thomas Bryant or like Winning Gabriel and just run these 2 guys with Austin Reeves. So you got 3 shooters. You got Russ, the big man that he could dump the ball off to. I think that could be quite the bench unit. And you could even, move Terrence Ross to the starting unit. You could even move both these guys to the starting unit, and I don't think it would really affect it. Like you could take Terrence Ross and Gary Harris along with Walker, put them in the starting lineup, and then next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you got a pretty serviceable starting 5, and just kind of evaluate and see where you at. And if you need another move, well, you'd still have a first to where you could go and then maybe move Russell Westbrook with that other first. Ideally, I would try to get these 2 for without a first. I don't think you'll be able to get Mo Bamba. I don't think you'll be able to get all 3 of these guys without giving up 1 first. But maybe you could, give up a second or 2 seconds for, Terrence Ross, maybe another second or 2 seconds for, Harris. The Lakers basically have all their seconds, or maybe you could do like a pick swap. Maybe they'd be interested in like a 2028 pick swap, and then do that and just say, hey, and maybe give them a second just for, the sake of giving them a second, and get 2 shooters, 2 guys that not only are they shooters, but they're 2 guys that can create their own shots as well. they're two guys that you could trust with the ball to just go get you a bucket, which I think the Lakers really need. It's one of the reasons why I think a Terry Rozier would be really solid. But also, these two guys are guys on reasonable contracts that you could re-sign, you could keep for the long haul. They're still young enough to be a part of now and the future plans. They give you that three-point shooting. They give you that scoring. Both guys are shooting the ball very well this year. There are definitely needs that the Lakers have this season. And then on top of that, if you could keep Russ, great. If it all works, maybe these are the missing pieces and, you're off to the races and now you're a contender. If they're not, maybe it brings you that much closer. And then maybe you could go look at maybe doing another deal, use Russell Westbrook, especially if you have both firsts. Now you could really kind of just go all in because it's like, okay, well, we got these two guys. We take Russ. Maybe now you go do, the Hornets deal, or maybe you do the Pacers deal, right? Now you got Buddy Hield, Terrence Ross, Gary Harris, and Miles Turner, and you just kind of have the shooters, put your two best shooters, Buddy Hield and whichever, maybe Terrence Ross, and you have different interchangeable lineups, right? But you solve your shooting woes. Because one of the things that I've said, and I really do believe that, I think Buddy Hield and Miles Turner help, but I don't think that their shooting is enough. You can't really rely on a big man. As great as Miles Turner is shooting the three ball this year, you can't really rely on, your center to be your best three-point shooter, right? And I don't think Buddy Hield by himself solves all of the Lakers' three-point shooting woes, unless he's taking 43s a game. We need several guys, right? And if you could get Terrence Ross and Gary Harris, well, then now that's several guys, right? On top of Austin Reeves, on top of, Walker has been shooting the three ball pretty well this year. Guys like that. Troy Brown has had his moments here and there. LeBron is starting to look like he's starting to knock down his three ball. So now all of a sudden you might have 4, 5, 6 guys that can knock down the three ball. Now you might actually be a legit good 3-point shooting team. And now if your defense can kind of get back to doing what it was doing earlier in the season, maybe now you're a legit contender. It's a thought. It's just something that I just think is interesting. I think it's at least worth a look for the Lakers. I don't think they would cost a ton. And, Orlando probably wants to just unload these guys, just to unload them, free up space and just, play time for the young guys, but also get some assets, anything for them rather than just losing them for nothing. So if you could get these guys on a reasonably cheap price, why not? Why not take a look at it? Again, I'm not really big on giving up a first for these guys because I don't really think they move the needle that much. But, maybe you don't have to. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Would you make this deal? Would you not? Would you give up a first? Would you not? If you could get Mo Bamba in the deal, would you take it and maybe give up a first in that case? Because then now you're getting a young center for the future. Or do you think, no, it's still not worth the first? Stick to a couple seconds, maybe a pick swap, something like that. However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below.